Welcome to another episode of Pitstop Fracas. I am your host, Mahad. And today we'll be reviewing the Mexican GP where Max Verstappen ran away with it. It was an absolute walk in the park, 15.5 seconds clear of Lewis Hamilton, who came second, and Sergio Perez, who came third. I am joined by Martz. How we doing, brother?
Yeah, you know what? Just suffering from PTSD, man. PTSD from Austria.
Austria type beat, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man. And I'm joined by Antz. I ain't seen you in a while, man. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a minute, but yes, I feel like for most of us, it's slowly starting to sink in that number 8 isn't coming home this year. But we'll get into that, I'm sure.
I know some listeners out there are thinking, I don't want to hear that opening in the pod, them kind of omens, you know what I'm saying? But today was a scary, scary race. If you're a Mercedes fan.
Very spooky.
Very spooky. And you know what? That kind of brings me to the first point I wanted to speak about is qualifying. Because there was a bit of hope for Mercedes fans at the beginning of this weekend. Well, it didn't look like that at the beginning with practice sessions where it looked like Red Bull were going to be dominating. Coming into the weekend, people kept on saying this is a Red Bull track. This is a Red Bull track. So it seemed like a formality that Red Bull would win. But there was a spanner in the works at qualifying. And it looked like Mercedes was sandbagging. End of Q3, Mercedes, Valtteri Bottas slapped it on pole. Lewis Hamilton put it on P2. First Mercedes lockout in a very long time on the front row. And it looked all rosy for Mercedes. Talk us through it, Antz. What did you make of Mercedes qualifying performance this weekend?
Yeah, I think it was a very weird one. I mean, obviously it had been drilled in for I feel like weeks now that when we get to Mexico, Red Bull gonna run riot, this, that. And then on Friday as well in practice, they were looking 3 or 4 tenths, maybe more up per lap, especially in the longer runs. So when it came to Q2, Q3 and VB77 was doing his thing, and he said afterwards, I thought that was the best lap of my life. I was like, all right, mate, whatever. But yeah, he actually did a good lap. I can't lie.
It was outstanding lap.
Yeah, Hamilton couldn't quite get there. And it was one of those days where you actually remember that Bottas is a good driver. And you're like, oh yeah, he's got that in his locker from time to time. Yeah, Hamilton P2, and then Red Bull it was very, very messy Q3 second run, just Q3 in general. I think we'll probably get into what happened with Tsunoda and Christian Horner very shortly. But I think it kind of, as it showed today, it kind of worked in their favor to be behind the Mercedes in the slipstream because Verstappen got a pretty good getaway.
Yeah, Bottas, outstanding performance in quali. He's kind of like if on when you play like a football game, it's like FIFA and that. And you look at the person's attributes. Yeah, I think his only outstanding attribute is quali. That is it. Everything else, racecraft, trash. Race pace, trash. Everything else is trash. But when it comes to this quality thing, he was ahead of Lewis the whole week, the whole Q3 sessions and in practice sessions. He looked like he was on absolute form. And you're right. The pace came out of nowhere. And one thing that I kind of thought, Mexico is a traditionally you don't want to be on pole on this race because the last 3 races, the person that was on pole didn't even end up on the podium, and alas, it happened again. Bottas, we'll speak about what happened to him, but he did not end up on the podium. You would think that P2 was going to be the best spot, and maybe Red Bull was aiming for that. I don't know, Martz. Do you think they sabotaged their own quali, Red Bull? Or do you think it's a case of they were really trying to get that front row lockup?
It's hard. I do think I think Max's comments after just kind of said it all. And the fact that it happened today as well, it just kind of adds more onto it. Like I don't think they're really that bothered. As long as they finish in the top 4, I think they kind of knew that we have this race. That was really the important thing. I don't think they really were that bothered about the pole or getting second. As long as they were top 4 and both cars were top 4, they can get in. think that was probably the strategy they were trying to go with. Because, I think that the Red Bull was definitely struggling on the straights because the Merc was a really quick, I think it was 2 tenths quicker this weekend on the straight. So that's sector 1. So Merc will always dominate sector 1. And I think when Max was doing his second run, he was on par with it. I think just 2 tenths off Bottas his fastest time. But
yeah, Red Bull's eating in them middle sectors, sector 2.
But they've said with those
3.
medium speed corners, they just love it, innit? That Red Bull loves it. And I'm still in shock for the race.
Well, this guy, you sound like you're absolutely traumatized right now. If you see his face, if you're listening on Spotify, this guy looks disheveled. He looks absolutely like he's been hit with a.
Yeah,
I look like I don't even know, man. You know the ones here where you come home from school and you know the there's either a letter or phone call coming home, and you're just there, just waiting for it to come, and you can't hide it. That's what it's like, man. That's what it's like.
Do you think? Listen, do you like? I'll come to you, Antz. Do you think they're playing a bit of 8D chess there? Because they know Red Bull. Okay, I'm not on the straight. We're not good on the straights. Mercedes is faster than us on the straights, even at top speed, max speed. So in a case of we can be 3rd or 4th or even 2nd, we can get slipstream here, where we can brake later, exactly what Max did, and get in there. Or am I overthinking this right now?
Do you know what I think? I think you might be overthinking it purely because, firstly, Christian Horner's comments after qualifying, he was a little bit rattled by the fact that their qualifying went awry. So I think they plan to probably be 1 and 3. I reckon they probably assume Perez was going to be thereabouts, maybe not 2nd because there's Hamilton or Bottas on a good day. But I think they definitely wanted a pole position. But secondly, I think looking at the pace they had in the car on Friday, I don't think they were too concerned. And they probably Saturday night analyzed the data. I know they had some kind of rear wing issues where Verstappen's rear wing wasn't quite working in FP3 or something. They probably looked at it, kind of fixed the problem overnight, and they're confident in the speed of the car. And I think whichever way they kind of lined up, as long as they got through turns 1 to 3 unscathed, they were probably gonna come out on top because they just had so much pace.
Yeah, you could be right. I think even when you look at the free practice, when you look at the long run sessions, Red Bull still their race pace looked good. So if they were a bit concerned about the quality of the situation, if they could get themselves in a good position in the race, they knew that long term, this race is all tight corners. This is a Red Bull track. They're gonna have a good time on long stints and being out there for a long while and getting that good race pace. Q3 was quite interesting. For those that don't know, Sergio Perez was giving Max Verstappen a tow on the 2nd run on Q3, and Yuki Tsunoda was doing his cool down lap after giving Pierre Gasly a tow. He was in Q3, but he was starting from the back because he took an engine penalty. But so he's solely there to give Gasly a tow. Done that, had a slow lap. Sergio Perez giving Max a tow, sees Yuki Tsunoda go off track and decides to follow him for some reason. Have no idea what was going on here. And after the race, Horner blamed Yuki Tsunoda and said, oh yeah, Perez was Tsunoda. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why they're scapegoating Yuki Tsunoda, because that's clearly Sergio Perez having an absolute howler.
That's what Red Bull do, though. They're the king of scapegoating people.
Yeah.
Are we shocked at this point?
Marks, it's techie, yeah. You can't criticize Sergio Perez in Mexico because Horner might not make it out of there. You know, so
listen, I was saying that exact same thing yesterday. I was like, what's it called? Christian can't talk. He can't talk around those sides. He has to wait till because I've been noticing Christian. I'm like, he hasn't really said nothing about Checo this season. Like, Checo hasn't been great, but you've seen the way he talks about Albon and Gasly in the past. and he's never made these comments about Checo. And like,
Perez is a
he's
big
letting
man.
Checo get away with murder at times. And I'm thinking, like, has he got a call from like the Sinaloa cartel or something? But
Wait, listen.
allegedly.
I'm saying nothing.
I'm saying
This
is
is
that
all Martz.
his dad might have some connections. Like the way man was running around with the flag and everything. Like he might be on Horner's neck. We don't know.
Okay, look, I can understand if I'm in Horner's position and I've got 120,000 Mexican fans there, and I'm going to be out here criticizing Checo in front of him. It's a bit mad. It's a bit techie. But to scapegoat Yuki was absolute shambolic. On that app, though, Martz, what did you think of Perez on that Q3 lap? Did he have a stinker there? Why is he following Yuki Tsunoda off the track? He didn't need to be. Even distractions don't cause you to do that.
I don't think. For me, I don't really think Checo was. I think that final lap, Checo wasn't really going for it. I think he was just there to give Max a tow because Max gave him the tow, I think, on the first run. So I think they were just kind of just switching it up. Like Checo already had a top 4 time. No one was really going to take it. So it was just about giving Max that tow down for the turns 1 to 3, and then let them just really releasing Max in it and just keeping out of Max's way. So I don't think he really had a stinker, but it was a bozo moment to go off track, and it just didn't quite make sense. Like why? Because when you look at it even from his camera angle, the dust isn't like that much to think, okay, like he can't see. I mean, I know he's going up in real time, yeah, and I'm looking through a camera, and in real time it could be completely different, but it didn't seem like the dust didn't seem that bad to think, okay, I need to follow what Tsunoda's doing, like, and he completely went wide left. So it wasn't like he was just following Yuki. He just went wide left for some absolute dumb reason. Like you're going round right, and then you're gonna come around a bend. Yuki would have stayed out your way. And it was just a bozo moment. And then Max, I think Max's excuse was a bit dumb as well. Like, I don't think Max was particularly while he was looking like he was gonna have a good, I don't think that lap was quite there for him either. I don't think he would have got that pole position. And then him saying, I had to lift off because I thought it was a double yellow flag. I mean, when has Max ever thought there was going to be a double yellow flag? He normally just drives straight through them. So, and then the whole Red Bull strategy was just pants, right? It was absolute pants. It was, yeah.
Yeah. It was a bit shaky. I think the whole rear wing thing, like what Antz mentioned earlier, when they were trying to fix that in practice as well. I heard they swapped Perez's wing with Max's as well during that session. And then Perez said, the car wasn't the same again. I don't know. But honestly, like, I think they fucked up. They got rattled because they realized, oh shit, what we're gonna do here? We need a tow. They said one of us need to be leaving P1, P2, but it didn't work out for him.
I think the strategy was pants, man. It was a Mercedes strategy they had in it. Like they had a Mercedes strategy there on quali day, so yeah.
Bit of feedback, Martz.
Oh, sorry.
Antz, what did you think of the comments Max made when he saw Yuki Tsunoda and Perez going off track?
Yeah.
What did he say? He said, "Call them idiots."
I feel like was it a stupid idiot or something like that?
Yeah. A lot of outrage about that. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I call a lot of people stupid idiots. No.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we know that Max has got a bit of a sharp tongue, but so do plenty of other drivers. So all we need to do is just be consistently lax with what we hear on the team radio. That's it. So like, because if a certain Lewis Hamilton said that about a certain someone, there'll be like a bit of an uproar. So I think we just need to take a step back and just be like, those kind of comments are normal. We didn't say anything outrageous. It wasn't derogatory in any way. It was just a bit of frustration over the radio. It happens, you know.
I hear it.
I don't think they should censor. I don't think they should censor anybody. I don't think we should criticize anybody's radios. You know, I'm not gonna lie, because
Yeah.
The only reason why is because these guys are going 200 miles an hour around the track. Yeah, bare adrenaline going on. Like if you mic'd me up driving on North Circular, it's gonna get nuts.
That's at 40 miles an hour.
Can't judge Formula One drivers on the track. Exactly, and you can't judge. So I can't really judge Formula One drivers like to take consideration about what this is reactionary. This is all like off the top of the head. So I think there's a lot of reading into it. I think there's too much reading into Lewis's radios as well. Like just stay calm. You know what I mean? I'm not saying let's ban radios. I'm not that guy. Yeah, I'm not gonna be that extreme, but I think people need to stop overreacting to radios, just in general, whether they're positive or negative comments.
100%.
But it's Max and I have to run the agenda. So
listen, you gotta do what you gotta do, brother.
My thing is though, like when it comes to like Max, I feel like a lot of the time though, he's always insulting other drivers, and I get like, idiot, blah blah. You know what? It's road rage, basically road rage. But I don't find. I mean, you get it from some drivers. Like Vettel says it's about Mazepin all the time, but we all think Mazepin's an idiot anyway. But there's no when Max, there's no control about it. I feel like he just says things, and he's always attacking other drivers. And I feel like this time you taking the risk of going behind Checo, and if anything goes wrong in front of you, it will affect your lap. You can't be out here calling people idiots. You got to understand now. This is on you. This is on you and your team strategy. You can't actually put that on Yuki. Yuki did nothing wrong. Yuki did nothing wrong. Checo did what he did, and then this is on Max. You're too close to the drama that's happening, and then you have to react to it now. If you're like maybe another 3 seconds behind, it's not a problem, is it? It's not going to be a problem for you.
It's like I just said, it's reactionary. The ones there is like it's spur of the moment. Say what you're going to say. You can't really filter yourself in that. You're going 200 miles an hour, bro. You're doing a quali lap. This is intense pressure, bro. So it's just how it is, man. I think we're reading in too much in it. But I know he called them stupid idiots. But let's talk about another stupid idiot, Christian Horner. He had a stinker this weekend. We touched on it briefly. Him blaming Yuki Tsunoda for the whole fuck up of the whole quali. What did you think of the comments, Antz, that Horner made with Yuki Tsunoda? Were they fair?
I feel like this Christian Horner is I think Toto Wolff nailed it. He's a proper pantomime villain. This guy, like he walks into the paddock with his sunglasses, saying all sorts about like all types of things, chatting inconsistency, this, that. So as for his comments about Yuki, completely unfair, because Yuki's just trying to get out of the way, literally like moving himself completely off track to allow Perez to go through. The thing is, I understand why Perez slightly messed up, because like if you're locked in on a quali lap, that sector 2 is quite fast. You've got your reference points that you kind of dialed in throughout the weekend, and if there's like a slight like a car off track or a bit of dust, it might, mess that up. So he had a bit of a snap, but it's unfortunate. I don't think it's necessarily Yuki's fault. So Horner's comments were a bit out of order. I think it's probably saved some of the backlash on that by the fact that they won this weekend. So there was no need to like go into it further or question why they failed this weekend. But it's kind of becoming a bit of a pattern where Horner like just puts these really negative comments out there on people, and then it kind of has a bit of a knock-on effect on social media and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, what can you do?
Maybe I'm just old, but I swear Horner's always been like this. I think just because it's been amplified by the social media era, and it's been amplified with Red Bull becoming relevant again. I'm telling you now, Red Bull Vettel days, he was doing all this shit. Every single weekend he was doing this shit.
I feel like it's DTS as well, man. The guy's a prick. He's an absolute dick.
Hey man, Spice Girl tack, man. Spice Girls tack, man. He's getting, he's like, I'm married to a pop star. let me get a little bit famous. You know what I mean? He's getting that going.
I can't use the word I want to describe Horner, to be honest. Like the guy is
all right.
Really,
It's
really
a family show, bro.
I know. I'll try to keep it family friendly, but I really don't like the guy at all.
He's bad vibes. Let's keep it 100. Yeah, you don't need to.
And he's always
under the
I
bus.
mean, like, you know what? Like Toto's doing it, and he said it as well. And they keep on using this. Like, I get F1's like a massive soap opera with racing, and they're doing it for the entertainment. But the guy just sometimes he just doesn't think when he's saying something. Like, there was no reason to say we got Tsunoda, especially when you know Tsunoda's had quite a difficult year and has come under a lot of scrutiny. Like, the guy was shivering in his boots, bro, because he thought Helmut Marko was coming to do him something yesterday.
That's mad.
That's
mad.
He was gonna get clapped.
You can imagine that, bro. If you imagine going to
man shook like he's you know, when you're in school and principal, I'll come to the principal.
Yeah, Yuki's young as well. That's the thing. Like, it's just that Red Bull environment's proper toxic and
really toxic. And you know what, Franz Tost is absolute. Like, how are you not protecting your driver as well? Come out and say something about him. Say something about it. I get you gave him the seat and everything from next year, but at least come out and say something. Back your guy. Like, where are you? Just let him to dry.
It's not his guy. Yeah, he's only got one guy. He's only got one guy in that team. As much as they'll try and like be like, "Oh, Checo did a great job this weekend." Yeah, it's just cap.
No, but I mean,
do you know what? Hey, check this out. Do you know how bad
talking about Horner? I'm talking about Franz Tost, bro.
Yeah? Franz Tost. Do you know what? Horner had a mare so much that Helmut Marko said today, Yuki did nothing wrong. So how much of a mare is Horner having? If Helmut's on the other side,
when Helmut Marko is sounding more reasonable, there's a problem there. That's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, enough about that.
Listen, Horner's been doing this from the jump. I want people to go back and have a look at them old school press conferences from like 2012, 2011, and see what man was talking. He's been doing this from the jump. This is no change. He just got his team's relevant again, so he's got the limelight again. This is
why I told you I don't like Vettel, because he gave birth to this guy, bruv. If Vettel never came, he wouldn't be like this. He wouldn't have this confidence. And Vettel gave this confidence.
You can't stick it on Vettel because he was like this before Vettel, bro. He was like, the thing is, yeah, he did it for Vettel. So he would throw Webber under the bus every 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds. For no reason. Just for Vettel. So I won't blame Vettel. It's just his type of personality. That's how Horner is. But I would say people just chill, because
listen, even the Max fans don't like Horner as well, you know. So there is something severely wrong with that man. There's something severely wrong with that man.
Hey, listen, yeah, and we're gonna have to see him on DTS next season, and then the season after that, and the season after that, because he's got like some weird ass contract with him where he gets whole episodes for himself. And I'm tired. They probably interview him for like 6 hours, 7 hours. Put all that footage up. It's annoying me, bro.
And you know what's the worst thing is, yeah? Like, if Max wins this title, by all means, well done. Max has had a superb season, yeah? And you can't fault him. You cannot fault him at all, because he's done his thing this season. But it's just the fault of the fact that Horner will be right next to him with that smug face. Oh, my blood is boiling.
Do you know what? I think drivers that drive for Red Bull, yeah, they become disliked by association from Horner. So Vettel was hated, yeah, when he was at Red Bull. Second he went Ferrari. Oh, Vettel turn around. It's you didn't hate Vettel. You hated Horner. Don't you understand? Listen, people hate Max now. You hate Horner, bro.
I was a massive Checo fan, yeah, last season. This season, I'm looking at him funny. I can't lie.
And this is peak. What we're calling it? Horner tax, yeah?
It's the
Horner tax.
The Red Bull Horner stain. It proper stains you. It's sad.
It stains you, bro.
But yeah.
Ugh. Red Bull fucks you up. It's not even Red Bull gives you in. Red Bull fuck you up, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my lord. Talking about fuck ups. Race start. Valtteri Bottas. So, like I said at the beginning of this pod, Valtteri Bottas on pole. Lewis Hamilton on second on the grid. Mercedes lockouts. What could go wrong? you should be running away with this, right? Antz, talk us through that opening section, that first corner, that right up to turn 1. What happened?
So when you start P1 in Mexico, you know, most likely you're probably not going to be leading, or you're not going to be ahead by a car's length going to turn 1. You're probably going to have someone either to the right or to the left of you, or both if you're Valtteri Bottas. So I think I was watching some of the starts from previous Mexico Grand Prix today. I looked at 2019. I think the last time we raced in Mexico, it was like Hamilton, I think, was 3rd or something like that. And then he had 2 Ferraris ahead of him. And I think it was Vettel who came across aggressively after the lights went out and basically squeezed Hamilton almost like half onto the grass. Hamilton had to come off a throttle and then tuck back into the slipstream. Today, we fast forward, Bottas gets away fairly well, gets a good start, so does Hamilton. They're pretty much side by side. But Bottas just drives in a straight line, which I thought was interesting because Mercedes had the advantage of locking out the front row, so they can move as a unit almost if they kind of got away cleanly together. They were side by side. If Bottas comes more to the left and Hamilton naturally follows him, no one can pass Bottas on the outside. The only way that anyone could get past either Mercedes is by getting the slipstream and then going down the inside to make it 3 wide, which could be done, but obviously Hamilton might also, as the car on the right, move slightly across to cover that. Instead, Bottas kind of drives down the middle. Max just picks up the toe, sees like a clear patch of tarmac, way more than the car's width to just drive straight through, get alongside. And then going onto the brakes, I mean, yeah, credit to Verstappen. Like, under braking was crazy. Like, he looked like he was driving like a car with like different braking ability. Like, he braked like 5-10 meters later. Bottas super early on the brakes, super cautious. Again, compounded his problems because not only was he early on the brakes, he didn't have good apex speed and then kind of turned in and then got tagged by Ricciardo. Not really his fault, but at the same time, it's just leaving so much on the table. And it's just like, you're just going to get kind of taken by people left, right, and center, mugged off, basically, if you kind of drive in that manner, I think. And then Hamilton, equally as kind of cautious on the brakes, I guess, because it was 3 wide. But if you're on the inside, you probably know there's going to be someone on the far side as well. So you can't be super aggressive because that's just going to cause a sandwich. So yeah, I think Verstappen played it really well, but it was kind of handed to him on a plate by Bottas, I think. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on that were, Mark.
To be fair, with Bottas, I think Toto spoke to Massi before the race, and he asked, would you be able to do a similar thing that Vettel did? The Vettel did to Hamilton in 2019. Would you be able to do something like that again today? And Massi said no. If a driver does that, he will get a penalty. So I think Toto I think they kind of expected Max to do that, and
yeah, I see your point.
They kind of like probably briefed Bottas probably so. But I still think Bottas could have done a lot more to defend that position rather than just.
I mean, he left it open. If your car is already on the left-hand side of the track, there's no need to be squeezing anyone into the grass. I think the thing with Vettel was Hamilton had like his front tire next to Vettel's rear tire, and then Vettel squeezed him, and then like, you know what I mean? So I mean, I guess it's obviously hindsight's great, but yeah.
I think as Dam said it, Bottas was too busy like trying to race Hamilton instead of trying to work for the team here. And like, yeah, all right, you don't want, obviously you're racing driver, you don't want Hamilton to overtake you. But at the end of the day, the team comes first. And if you're able to navigate the first 3 corners, you're then going into Red Bull territory where the Red Bull's going to be really quick. But if you're at least able to pull away the 2 of you, you can create a scenario where you can pull away or hold the Red Bulls back enough. You always have that chance to race near the end of the race. Bottas doesn't think like that. Bottas was just thinking about the here and now, and he literally just tried to take out Hamilton and left the door completely wide open for Max. And it was just doesn't. The guy doesn't make sense, bro. He doesn't make sense. As you said earlier, Mahad, his racecraft is just absolutely non-existent, bro.
Yeah, I think it's just a weird one because I don't even think he particularly tried to cover up Hamilton like too much because Hamilton was pretty much alongside him for like most of the run down to turn one. It's just that he simply didn't defend against what you correctly said is the bigger threat of the Red Bulls behind, I think. But yeah, just a bit of a mess really. And then he got spun around as well to add insult to injury.
On Martz's point about Toto asking Massey about that move, yeah. Big man thing, don't ask Massey them things. Just do it and see what happens. Make Massey make a decision, innit? This is the elite. This is how you have to be an elite team principal. Just do it, then see what happens. Don't ask Massey because then you made the decision for Massey if you do it. Because he's gonna give you a penalty. But if you do it, then say, no, Massey, that's not a penalty, you know. Massey's more inclined to listen to you, because he's a bozo. he's gonna be persuaded. Oh, Toto's ringing me. He's emailed me. All right, let me just hold that and not give him a penalty. Second of all, I said this back in Baku, yeah. Bottas don't know racing lines, bro. He don't know racing lines. He doesn't know. If you're ahead, yeah, you know the left is the racing line, right? When you're approaching that corner, right? So why are you not on the left?
You know what? No, Mahad. No, he does know racing lines. The guy's not stupid because I always go back to Sochi 2020, yeah. And the guy said, if I qualify third, I'll be able to win this race. So he's not stupid. He's purposely doing this. He's purposely doing this.
Hey, that's spicy. That's spicy. You're saying he's purposely fucking up.
He is. Like the races he's done well in, yeah. Like of course he's done very well in quali this season. But the races that he's actually done well in, he has no involvement with Hamilton. There's literally zero involvement with Hamilton. The races where he has to beat Hamilton and be a good teammate, this guy has been pants, bro. He's been absolutely pants. He's been sabotaging this guy since day dot. From France, like the guy couldn't hold up Max for like another 10 seconds. That would have won Hamilton the race.
Yeah, that's crazy. I still think about that.
He don't know racing lines. He just knows off.
He does. He's just moving out the way, bro.
Tell you now, people are racing. Okay. Because I see this quite a lot, and there's a small portion of people, yeah, that are out there that rate Bottas. Yeah, stop rating Bottas. Stop. The evidence is stacked against you. You're losing in court. What are we doing here? The guy's racecraft is poor. The guy's decision making is poor. When he does the race where, like you just said, where he's on P1 and it looks like how Turkey was, easy sailing. Yeah, he can do that. That's not a problem. And I think many of the drivers, if they were in a position of in a top car like Mercedes, they could do the same. So this is not challenging stuff that he's doing. Yeah, when it comes to situations like this where he's needed, yeah, the guy didn't do his job. Yeah, I know for a fact. I don't really rate Mercedes strategy like that, but I know they told him cover the left. And the guy flat out refused. You was car lengths ahead of Max at the beginning of that straight. Yeah, Max had a good start, but you still had a car length ahead of him. You could slot yourself there, just position yourself, or force Max to make a decision. Like I said, squeeze him. You not even squeezing whatsoever. To me, is basically bottling it, or basically saying, I'm all right. I'm going out for a mail. I've got a multi-year deal. I'm calm.
I'm telling you, like, you remember that show on CBBC, yeah, Trapped, where they used to go do all the challenges and you used to have the saboteur. That's Bottas. That is Bottas, bro. He
sabotages things.
He's sabotaging, bro. Because the guys. Why is
it in his interest to sabotage these races? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Yeah, you have to know the motive.
Does he like Hamilton? Does he like Black Lives Matter? Lord knows.
Whoa.
Yeah, but hold on.
In the words of Nam, does he know? In the famous words of Nam, does he know? No, what I'm saying is, I'm on the other side of things where I don't think he's like that. I just think he's trash. I just don't think he knows. You know what I'm saying? I think other drivers would be more competent in that situation.
I can't
think about the amount of drivers okay, Antz, if Russell was in that car, is he defending that position better?
100%. Which is why I kind of see the sabotaging point, but also my view is that he's very average. But I don't understand why he's not fighting with the team and that. So it's a strange one. But
No, I'm sorry. Like the only other person that would do this to Hamilton, yeah, is Alonso. I'm like literally 100% certain. The only person that will be doing this have a season like this would be Alonso, because Alonso will
is cutting
sabotage
that
Hamilton.
grass. He's not going to the left. He's going across the grass.
Oh.
He's not attempting to take turn 1 in that situation. You know what I mean? Big brain, L plan. You know what I'm saying? But for Bottas, clearly I saw the post-race interviews. Toto is not happy with how Bottas performed today. And do you know what? Slightly, like you just said, karma, bro. You don't do your job for the team, you get tagged by Ricardo. Ricardo's moving like a terrorist today. And you hold that. And you finish wherever you finish. They put 11 seconds on your head top on a pit stop as well. You're going to have to hold that, brother. Because you didn't do your job at the beginning.
Did he get the fastest
lap?
lap?
He got fastest lap. They put him on softs.
Okay.
I don't want to hear people saying Red Bull are shameless for taking away points from other teams, because this is a Formula One, man.
It took him 2 attempts, by the way. You
remember when they told him not to do fastest lap and the guy still tried it?
He had to put the softs twice. He bottled it the first time.
Bro, you're on softs. Hey, Antz, don't kill me. He's on softs. Just slap a quick one-time fastest lap. Why are you bottling it? You have to do it again. That would have been hilarious if you bottled it the second time.
Yeah, but he just about.
Toto would have burnt his contract.
You guys
I kind of thought he would bottle it as well, you know. I literally kind of thought he would bottle it. So yeah. I'm not surprised he had to do it 2 times.
Yeah, Antz was going to ask a question. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, do you think Toto's regretting not slipping in Russell for this year, for 2021? Because Mercedes are in a dogfight. They're either a point ahead or a point behind now. If Russell was in that car, they'd be clear, and plus they'd have 2 against 1 against Verstappen most races, I think.
I'm not Russell's biggest fan, but he's a competent driver, and he's competent enough to do the things that will help you win a championship, which I think any basic driver can do. Any driver could do in a Mercedes, except Bottas. And this guy is absolutely stinking it. It's disgusting. Like
I said,
you know, and people, you know, people were go on, Mahad.
I said in my preseason predictions that he should be gone by Silverstone, yeah, and they should put Russell in that seat, yeah. We had that whole palaver of not knowing who's going to be in that seat all the way up to, I don't know, I think it was like Monza, Zandvoort around that time. And at that time when you make that announcement, why don't you just put Russell in the seat there and then? What is there to lose? What is there to lose? You might as well. If you've got that much faith in Russell that you're giving him a multi-year contract at Mercedes in a top seat in Formula One, and he's the so-called future of your team, put him in the seat now, because Bottas, his head is gone. He's at Alpha. He's gone. It's kind of like if you start a new job, or you got a contract, new job. Do you think you care about your current job? You're like, oh, I've got next job.
Yeah.
Already handed him my notice.
And we know that Russell doesn't need time to settle in, because he dunked all over Bottas in Bahrain or whatever when he filled in for Lewis. So
the question mark is Russell going to be good? That's not the question mark. The question mark is, will he be better than Hamilton? Or that's the kind of questions we're asking. Is it going to be competitive between the two? We're not saying he's going to be a complete dud. We already know that he will probably be more competent than Bottas at this current juncture, because we've seen what I know. It's only Sakir, and we've seen only evidence at Russell at Williams. But at this moment in time, you've got to make that decision, because once you make that announcement, the person is checked out. I don't think you understand human mentalities. These guys, some people, they will check out because they already know. Some people said Bottas is performing now in Turkey, stuff like that, because he's safe and assured that he's going to be in Formula One for the long term, because he's at another team. But why should he fight for that team that he's in currently? Why should he? He's not contractually, yeah, he's contractually obliged to drive for him, but he's contractually obliged to try 100%. He's not fighting for a seat.
Yeah.
I didn't want to rain on this parade yesterday, because I was like, you know what? A 1:15.8, that's a brilliant lap for a pole. Like, but as I said, everyone was talking about all this new. I mean, I think I even put a tweet out about the form, like the Bottas' new form and stuff. But I'm not really a big believer in that new form anyway. This guy, he's been doing he's doing what everyone says Checo does, innit? Apart from the race win in wherever it was, I can't remember where the race win was, but he's been doing what Checo's done. He's been starting from like the back of the grid or whatever, middle of the grid, and he's just been doing good runs and getting back into good places. So like obviously you got Monza, and then wherever else he has had an engine penalty and had to come back through the grid. But he's not actually doing anything to help the team at this point in time. He's literally just there helping them, probably developing the engine to make it more reliable for next year. That is it. That's all he's doing there now at the moment.
Antz, do you think constructors in jeopardy? Because people were telling me a couple of weeks ago, Mercedes got it in the bag, and I was like, hold on here. We've got 6-7 races left. What's going on?
Drivers is 100% in severe jeopardy, distress right now. Constructors is heading that way because there's a general feeling I think Mercedes is going to have to take another engine penalty at some time, maybe even next weekend, plus Bottas tax on anything. So, but then the Checo tax, do you know what I mean? It kind of evens it out. So I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah, and he didn't get
1 point difference right now. Constructors 1 point difference.
Yeah. So we'll see. And also Bottas couldn't get past Ricciardo for what, 40 laps or something like that.
Yeah. I was gonna tweet something because I was like, yo, this is taking a while, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, McLaren. I'll admit it, we had an absolute stinker of a weekend. I think we knew from practice sessions that this ain't our race, and you can get past Ricciardo for how long? And Ricciardo had to put a new front wing on.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
Scary.
You had a slower pit stop than you. Scary hours for Bottas. If you're a Bottas fan out there, boy, Lehman Brothers, you're out of business.
If there are any Bottas fans out there,
if there are, to the 4 of you worldwide,
yeah.
if you're listening, hold that. We'll move on. Max and Checo, they nearly made it Red Bull 1-2. We ain't seen a Red Bull 1-2 since 2013. First of all, I know Martz is going to be sick. Actually, let's go. Look, Martz, you tell us about Checo's performance this weekend.
First of all, sorry,
bit of a bozo quality.
That's a crazy stat, by the way. No Red Bull 1-2 since 2013.
Yeah, listen, man, it's crazy out here, man. Because remember, when Ricciardo was winning races in 2014, certain Vettel disappeared into the abyss. I don't know what he was doing. And then since then, it's been Merc dominance. So, yeah, Martz, talk us through Checo's weekend and his performance in the race.
Checo, I think he did all right. I think he could have done a bit more to get to Hamilton, but I think he let Hamilton pull away a bit too much during the first stint before Hamilton pitted. And then he obviously had the opportunity, but then Leclerc, I think if Leclerc stayed out a bit longer, he would have had it in the bag, second in the bag. But obviously Leclerc pitted literally as Hamilton came out as well, so it kind of saved Hamilton's bacon there. But yeah, I think he overall the weekend he had a very good weekend, and he could be very happy with how he performed this weekend. In free practice, he was doing very quick times. I mean, like he had provisional pole in Q3, obviously up until Bottas took it away, and he played to the crowd this weekend, man. The Mexicans were all over him, and they loved it. They were loving every second of it, and it was a good performance to see. It was great to see him have a good weekend, like, and we're seeing these more and more. And he's really helping Max win this championship. Like the past 2 races, I think without Checo, Max isn't winning those races, and he's actually really helping Max win this championship. Like, because while Red Bull was absolutely rapid today, if Checo was nowhere to be seen and wasn't on Hamilton's tail, I don't think it could have been a much closer race. I'm not saying Hamilton would have won, but it could have been a closer race. So God give Checo his props this weekend. He hasn't had the best of seasons, but the last couple races, he's really come into his own and making that seat his own now. So it looks like he does deserve his seat for next season.
Checo's dad was running around like he was packed. He was in every picture. He was out here. he looked elated. So yeah,
I
big,
mean, it's the
big
first
props to
Mexican
Checo's
on
dad,
podium,
man,
isn't it?
and Checo. Yeah, the first Mexican on a podium in Mexico. These are big
Exactly.
achievements here, man, in front of everybody. See the way they were celebrating. They celebrated him more than Max. So this was a big.
I know that man are
dub
just
for him.
popping the tequilas tonight, but
Yeah, he said it on the radio.
non-stop.
He said it on the radio. Perez, like, tequila time, ready.
Exactly.
To be fair, like, either I think, like you said, if Leclerc stayed out even one more lap, to hold up Hamilton, he pitted immediately. That could have saved him. Perez on that last stint got into a lot of traffic, lost a lot of time, and at the end he nearly had. I think if he had 3 more laps, he might have took Lewis. So
I don't think so. I think Lewis would have been able to. Lewis is good enough defender. He's not the easiest person to overtake. I think even in the fresher tires, it would have been good. It would have been good to see some water wheel racing like we saw. Where was it? They had their
Turkey. It would have been like Turkey.
Exactly. Yeah. It would have been good to see something like that. But unfortunately, we didn't. But
oh no, let's speak about Hamilton because I saw a little post-race interview. And Antz, what did he exactly say? Because there was a little bit of Checo disrespect still.
Yeah, he dropped like a little one on Checo's head. I was a bit shocked. I think he said, the Red Bull's quick when Checo's on your tail or something like that. And then he just grinned afterwards, like straight into the camera. I was like,
yo, that's peak. Listen, that's a fired shot, Perez.
The thing is, I remember him saying something like that about Albon last season. I think it was in Abu Dhabi last season when he was coming back from COVID. He was like, and I was even getting hassled by Albon, crazy, like the streets are crazy out here.
And listen, I'm not gonna say. Listen, it's true, but you don't need to say it.
Yeah,
you know Perez ain't levels with you.
He ain't got to do that. Perez is trying to enjoy his weekend, have a little tequila, and then Hamilton's dropping his bombs. Like, yeah,
Hamilton's like Perez. Oh,
yes, but yeah, man. Perez, I feel like he had a good weekend. Yeah. But I think the Red Bull wasn't like so dominant on Sunday. I feel like he could have done a bit more with it. And also, I feel like Perez, he's a bit. I mean, obviously, his strength is maintaining life in his tires and all that. But he's kind of an overcut merchant. I can't lie. Like, he was within 1.8, 1.5 of Lewis. He could have done a sneaky undercut, but.
Yeah, about that life, man. What are you talking about?
He ain't
doing no undercuts.
He ain't got the 1 lap pace to come in and then like pop out some purple sectors. So
you're not that guy, pal. Man has to just do Mo Farah stints, man.
Literally Mo Farah stints. That's his thing. But he does it well. He nearly got P2. So
yeah. Martz, what did you say?
I've said that move from Max though, like on that opening lap, that might be one of the best opening laps that, like, from a driver I've seen. Like,
yeah, but Bottas tax.
Bottas tax.
Yeah,
you need to apply that at source. You know them ones like. I know. That immediately.
I know that's like a 70%.
That's like beating Maguire in a foot race. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those ones. It's tax bros.
But even just to do that, just to go around the outside, come in, that was beautiful.
Yeah, it was sturdy. I can't lie.
One thing I was watching in practice. We're gonna get onto Max's performance. I was watching in practice. Max has got this car under control, man. He's gliding. Yeah, the way he's swinging this car about, he's got it totally under control at all times. And the way his driving style is very, very different to everybody else's because he does brake quite early. He's kind of like already predicting what's happening before he enters corners, and he's just trusting the car and guiding it wherever it needs to go. And what he did in the first lap in the race, he's not usually known for late braking. He's not that guy when it comes to late braking. Only when it comes to opening laps, he does that. But his driving style is not a late breaker. He's not that guy. That's not his driving style. He kind of predicts what he needs to do. But for him to brake so late and swing that move off, outstanding performance. Antz, tell me about Max's performance today, man.
Yeah, it was dominant, and I think he's been dominant all season. I think if you look at his results, where let me have a look at his results where he hasn't had like affected races. It's literally second, first, second, first, second, first. He's got
podium merchant.
Yeah, podium merchant, top 2 merchant. He's dialed in. He's locked in. Like
that touchy second is I just felt that again, man. That was words. Like, how did he do that?
Yeah, so it's championship winning form, and he's putting in championship level drives.
Was it what 10 wins, 9 podium, 9 poles? Like, guys on one this season, bro.
This is what I'm saying. You know when you evaluate a driver and you say, "Oh, this guy's got the fastest car," and so on and so on, and you expect him to be dominant. He's doing what is expected. He's dominated in the races where he finishes. He's dominating. He's leaving with something. He's leaving with first or second. So he's leaving with high points. So unless if those DNFs don't even happen and he finishes 6th or 7th, the guy's long gone in those races. So it's kind of like we speak about, oh, this person like Vettel when he had the fastest car, he was dominant. This guy is completely dominant, but he's racing against Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton is outstanding. He's outperforming the situation that he's been put in, because Mercedes are not putting him in a good situation or in a car that's sufficient to challenge, and he's still in the world title. He's still in a shout to win the title.
Street's been calling that car the wheelbarrow weekend, boy.
Listen, no, people can't call that car a wheelbarrow, yeah, and then they stick it on P1, P2 in quali, yeah, and then get dusted in the race. What is it? Is it a wheelbarrow or not? Let me know, because are we doing quali hype? I usually talk about practice hype because people get gassed about practice times. Yeah, is it quali hype now? Is this what we're doing?
Yeah, I just think I think that Merc just outperformed itself on the quali day. The track just kind of went in their favor, and they just managed to get I really did not think they were going to win it on Sunday anyway. I think like it was kind of obvious that they weren't going to win on Sunday because the race pace that Red Bull was showing in the practice sessions, you just knew like at some point, and then the Mercedes strategy as well. You just never know what they're going to come up with, what way to lose a race they'll come up with. So,
Mercedes strategy are bad, man. They just aired Lewis on the radio. They even chat to him at the time, and then Lewis is like, "You guys still there?" I was like, "What? You lot don't even communicate, don't even give them times or nothing. You're just rattled because you know that you're not going to win the race because Max Verstappen 17 seconds ahead."
I think they were like me. They just had PTSD from Austria. They were like they just shocked, like shell shocked, man. Just absolute shell shock.
Yeah, man. Sheer domination by Max Verstappen, man. You have to give him his flowers, man. I said this. What was on the last pod with Nasha? I said when Max Verstappen's first place, he's an elite front runner. Yeah, he's gonna guide that home, bro. And he was so comfy that he's talking about other degradation on other people's tires. Why do you have the capacity to be looking at other people's tires and be like, "Oh, I see my man's rear left is fucking up. Check if my rear left is fucking up. Keep an eye on it." This guy is coasting. He's gardening in this race, and he was doing the same in Austria. I'm not surprised they didn't do a wheel spin at the end because he's on absolute piss take. But yeah, great performance by Max Verstappen. Driver of the day, guys. Martz. Max. I don't think I'd say Max as well. Antz.
I might go Gasly, you know.
Gasly was outstanding.
Because I mean, Max, yeah, it was a dominant drive, but I think he had enough of a delta to Mercedes to the extent that it was expected that he would finish where he did. Gasly, very strong result again. P4, a bit ahead of both Ferraris, both McLarens. Like, I think it's a driver of the day for me.
Yeah, man. Gasly keeps on putting these performances in, man. He's P4, man, P5, man. This is what he's on. And his quali helps him so much because he does such a good quali lap. He's got it under control, and he managed to avoid all the melee that happened at the beginning of that race. Was challenging Perez at the beginning, but he probably got a burr call and they leave him alone.
Yeah, and, I think Brundle was like talking about that before the race. He was like, so. I think he asked Helmut Marko what's going to happen if Gasly gets alongside the Red Bulls. But basically, yeah, he's under orders to not move forwards. Like P5 is good, but yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Basically,
yeah, man. Ferraris did well as well. Shout outs to the Ferraris. Saw a little bit of team orders going on.
Dunked on your head today, boy.
Listen.
Yeah, where's the Leclerc fanboys at? Because the way that he was moving aside for Carlos Sainz was reminiscent of a certain post 2009 Felipe Massa, a certain Rubens Barrichello.
Rubens Barrichello hype, man. Listen, I was here on the radio. Carlos is faster than you.
Oh,
Carlos is saying I'm Carlos. Carlos said I'm faster. Get me out of the way. Let me do my thing. For some reason, I don't know how it happened, but Leclerc still finished ahead of him, even though there were
because they said it. They said it like I think Carlos said they said Carlos is faster than you, and then Leclerc put 3 seconds on his head top.
But then they still did the orders later on. And Sainz took Sainz.
Listen, I probably stopped watching by then. But
basically, they switched positions. Sainz was ahead. And then at the end of the race, I saw Leclerc was ahead of him. So, boy, I don't know what's going on.
Probably just gave the position back in it.
I like the dynamics of not knowing who the number one driver is. It's going to be interesting next season, especially if they're like a very good team. I want to see that. McLaren had a stinker. What can I say, man? The car's not there, man. All I can hope for is that we're there next year. Because right now, we spent all our tokens on one Mercedes engine that's looking higgy. What can we do? Should have bought a fucking... We can't even buy Ferrari engines. So, boy, we're done here. We'll see what happens in it. Mazepin Award, Martz.
I slightly want to give it to Mazepin for yesterday as well, bro. He tried to do team orders and it completely backfired.
It didn't make any sense though. Like, it just made no sense. I didn't understand it. But
the guy said, "Are you having a laugh?" He's like, "Listen, stay where you are and make your space now. If you're gonna do your lap." It's just ridiculous.
Elite TV, Oscar-winning TV is going to be that DTS episode with Haas, because I don't know what is going on over there, and I know Gunter Steiner does not like Mazepin. I know that for a fact.
He needs him for the money, innit? He needs him for the money, and that's it.
Oh Lord, Antz, who's your Mazepin of the day or the weekend?
Good question. I don't want to say Bottas. That's a bit harsh. But he just has very like comically bad weekends sometimes. It's hard not to give it to him. Like his pit stop got fucked up. He had to do fastest lap for 2 attempts. He was doing donuts on lap 1. He wasn't defending. But let me be nice and just give it to
Ricardo. 40 laps. Remember that it took him 40 laps to get ahead of Ricardo.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I don't know. I might just give it to Mazepin as well. I don't want to put it.
Let's remind viewers and listeners that Mazepin on the Q1 stint did a lap, and then Stroll did a lap and binned it, and he was spinning and he crashed the car over the lap, and he still did a faster lap than Mazepin. The man crashed and still had a faster lap than you. He crashed over the line and he still had a faster lap than you, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
Look, my Mazepin award, even though I got stocks in him, I kind of rate him. Stroll had a stinker all weekend. He had a stinker. Like he was at the beginning of this race, he was doing like Mario Kart. He was doing shortcuts. He was doing whatever. I don't know what was going on. It's not looking good for him right now. He's had a bad couple of races.
Yeah, he's in some bad form, and I think I remember he overtook someone for probably like 14th place, and his engineer was proper gassing him, like, go on, son. And it was literally like P13 or something. And I was just like,
man needs Brad back, boy. He needs Brad back because it's not popular right now, but he needs to argue with someone on the radio so there's somebody gassing you for doing nothing.
Yeah, he's down bad right now.
He's down bad. All right, before we go, next weekend, Brazil predictions. Martz, what's your podium in Brazil? What's it looking like?
Probably Red Bull again, man. I can't see it, especially if they take the penalty next year.
Do you think they're going to take the penalty in Brazil, Mercedes, if they do take a penalty?
Yeah, I think they'll take the penalty. So I feel like it might be no Red Bull 1-2, but it'll be a Max probably, and then Bottas will probably have a good race because Hamilton will be nowhere near him.
Oh, it might be one of those ones, yeah. Oh dear. Antz, what's your predictions?
I feel like Mercedes are very unfortunate they have to be taking these penalties because it's kind of killing them in the championship. You need now Hamilton's 28, 20 or so, 19, 20 points behind. There's 4 races left, I think. If he wins every race and Max comes second, that's like 28, 30 points that he can swing the gap back. So it's very tight. And I don't think Mercedes can really be afford to be taking any penalties. But if the analysis is saying we need to take penalties, then what can you do? So I don't really know, honestly. I mean, I think if they have the pace, they have to. I don't want to say they have to risk it, but would you rather like lose a championship on like a DNF in like the third to last round, second to last round, or just lose it just slowly on points, just being like the gap's slowly getting bigger and bigger?
Your engine can't blow up, bro. This is I see a lot of people arguing about this. Like, Mercedes don't need to take a penalty. Lewis Hamilton can't be in the lead of a race and his engine blows up. That is malpractice at the highest level.
I hear it. To be fair,
you can't. That's not the way to lose. If you're gonna lose it just like you finishing P2 and the other guy finishing P1 every race. You cannot put yourself in a situation where you're saying, "Oh, Mercedes don't need to change their engine." If their analysis says we need to change the engine or change some components within the engine and take a 5 penalty or 10 place penalty, do that, because what you cannot afford is that engine blowing up. And people are saying, we don't need to, but you have to be prudent in these situations, because you can't be title on the line, Abu Dhabi, your engine blows up because you've been running with it since Kota. What are we doing here? That's malpractice, bro. And you can't even blame Lewis on that. That's the team that has to make that decision, Mercedes.
Yeah, fair enough. So I mean, if they take that penalty, they need to take it. Then I can't see anything other than a Red Bull victory, possibly even a 1-2.
Before we go, Antz, is it over? Is Lewis 8 over, or is there still a chance?
I think there's still a glimmer of hope, you know. But it would take a Verstappen DNF, I think, in my opinion, for him to get it back. And I just don't think the Red Bull's going to blow up anytime soon. And no one's really close enough to Red Bull on the track right now to even contemplate like them tangling with anyone. So I don't want to say it's over, but it's looking very peak right now.
Mark, same question.
It's not over, but if anyone could do it, it's Lewis. Lewis can do it, but it's very bleak.
On that somber note, we'll end today's pod. Thank you for listening. Plug in all the socials. Follow us on Pitstop Fracas on Twitter. Follow us on Pitstop Fracas on Instagram. If you like this video, please like and subscribe on YouTube. Leave comments. We always respond. And use the hashtag Pitstop Fracas on Twitter if you want to interact with us and let us know your thoughts on the pod. We'll be back next week with our review of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Peace.